Hey friends, and welcome back to another Rebel Show, and I hope everyone's doing well. We're quarantined, kinda. The governor has basically shut down business, shut down churches, and shut everything down, trying to keep this coronavirus down and out. And last time we talked a little bit about Bernie Sanders and the things he wants to do, and I think I can kind of mix a little bit of that with a little bit of what's going on right now, because we want to talking about excessive spending. So we can look at Bernie wants to promise tuition-free, high-quality education. Now, once again, we don't know how any government does anything high quality. Like, we just think of the VA or the DMV. Like, that's what healthcare would be. That's what pretty much any government program is, just slow, cumbersome, annoying. So we don't want any of that. And you could look at businesses like Chick-fil-A or Chipotle, and they're just super fast quality service. Like, there's one time I went into a Chipotle, and I didn't even stop walking. Basically, I continued my motion the entire time. There was nobody else in there. I walked in, ordered, kept walking, swiped the card, and I was out. Never stopped walking. That's quality. That's good quality. And that's what you get when you get competition in business. That's what you want, is competition. Then you could go to another restaurant and maybe they don't do as good. Maybe there's no one at the counter, or they make the order wrong multiple times. That's what creates power in the competition. Things really need to stay in the private sector. Local businesses should they can even do government things like the local DMV. You could have John's driver's license service, and I bet it'd be way better than the government DMV. They could still be regulated, but it'd be a much better service because maybe John serves cookies and another business doesn't. Tuition costs have skyrocketed since the government guaranteed these loans. So colleges really don't have to really care what their rates are, because they know the government's going to guarantee that if the student can't pay it back. And that's stupid. So they can just raise rates, raise tuition costs. We need to get away from that. We need to get back to business, make it a business. And I don't really think you really need like a dancing poetry degree. Like, what job is out there doing that besides Peter Pan or like Pee Wee Herman or something, right? Let's go out and create jobs and get jobs that are actually relevant. If you have a new industry, fine, but really, come on. The country is headed to $22 trillion in debt, and it could be a lot more now with these coronavirus stimulus packages. And how do we plan to pay for all this stuff? I mean, it's going to hit our kids, it's going to hit our grandchildren, and at some point, government just needs to hit the chill pill, and it's a long time ago they needed to do it. And so, like, for someone like a Bernie Sanders, the 22, now it's more like 28 plus trillion. I'm sorry, 24 trillion with the new $2 trillion spending package, somewhere in that range. Plus he wants, with all his programs, to add 90 trillion, give or take. I mean, that's a ton of money. It doesn't even exist, right? I've been reading through the Bernie plan, and the only way it works is to burn you and your grandchildren and your children. I mean, this is going to be a big burden later. It's basically tax the crap out of the individuals and businesses. And it's going to crush businesses to be able to do that. I mean, you saw business thrive once a bunch of taxes and regulation was pulled off business. But now when you burden them again, it's just going to crush them. A lot of businesses aren't going to be able to make it. How long would you stay in business if you're taxed 6, 70, or 80% of your income, your profits? That's crazy. You need that money to give raises, give bonuses, do R&D, invest in new equipment. I mean, whatever. You need to buy a new truck to do your work. You need to hire new people. You need that money. And you know what? If there's like a pharmaceutical industry people and they like create new medicine and it saves millions of lives, I don't care if they get a big bonus. That's fine. If you're a great CEO and your business is booming, I don't care if you get a big bonus, because you've got a ton of responsibility, and it needs to be worth it. And we shouldn't have government regulating this anyway. This should be based off how well you work, how well you perform, not what government says. With rates 6, 70, 80, 90%, would you even start a business if you have a great idea? Because you're going to be crushed. You won't even be able to start. It's just bad news bears. How could you afford to function if taxes, payroll, insurance, R&D, new equipment, bonuses, benefits, etc. are all just, you don't have the money to do all that anymore. You can just barely function. Plus, you have to pay some exorbitant minimum wage, which is in itself stupid. If it worked, why do they have to keep raising it? So this guy Bernie promises a lot, but the long term is, how does it work? Even he doesn't know. When they asked, how are you going to pay for all this? He can only get to half of what he wants to do. And he says, oh, we'll get there. Wow, that's a great plan. He may get the taxes to fund these programs at first, but what happens after he depletes the finances of the wealthy and the other businesses? What happens when he depletes that? Well, there's plenty of stories out there that show what happens when you run out of other people's money. This isn't a new story. This is an old story. Businesses and taxpayers who will pay the bill for the new programs. So it's going to hurt the economy big time. And your lavish lifestyle or your medium style lifestyle or your poor lifestyle is going to get even worse. The country could go into a third world state like Venezuela did. Everyone should look into that and just kind of see what's going on with Venezuela. Because they were a very prosperous, rich nation. They let bad policy come in. And now look at them. They ate the animals in the zoo. Their government, military runs over them with vehicles. And it's a problem. They don't even have food. It's poverty for all is really what it is. That's what socialism leads to. Poverty for all. And you can have hopes and dreams and fantasies of euphoria and all that. And it's fake. The only way to be prosperous is to go out and work hard and earn it. And it takes time. You have to build something. You have to plan, and it takes work. And if you want to do it riding the waves for free, it's not going to happen. America was founded so people could be free and work to make their dreams reality. Government's not supposed to give you your dreams. What kind of dream is that? That's stupid. It's more valuable if you earn it. People could find a need, start a business, and make great money and live the good life. That's the American dream. You can do it a different way too. You could always get a job, learn a skill, work the skill for a few years, and then branch out on your own and start your own business. That'd be a great way to build wealth. And it's building wealth. Wealth just doesn't magically appear like a poof, right? You build wealth, like you build a house or build a wall. It takes time. And we're meant to live the good life. We're meant to be wealthy. We were meant to be prospered. We're also meant to work for it. In Proverbs, it says, Proverbs 14:23 says, in all labor, there is profit, right? So it's about labor. You work, you earn, you use that money wisely, and you develop wealth over time. Government gets in the way when it does more than it was created to do. Bernie Sanders style government is a nanny state parent style presidential candidate. He's a parent. He's a nanny president. We don't need that. We're adults in this country, right? We can handle it. We can do what we need to do. We don't need a nanny looking over us. We're adults. To me, socialism is for the weak, right? It's for the lazy. It's for many adults who say we cannot survive in this life without the government's help. I'm a tough guy. I can do it. I don't need government help. Stand down, right? People that are too weak and fragile to function on their own. That's what socialism's for. We need to man up, cowboy up, and let's get stuff done. Capitalism takes real men and women who can put their blood, sweat, and tears into work and get it done. That's what capitalism is for. If you're not that, you're weak. Sorry. Too bad. That's not me. Stay out of my way. I can handle it, and I don't want to get burned. Bottom line. You can find a lot of these stats on Bernie Sanders' website, by the way. That's where I got it. But just think about how our government's spending, what threatens our day-to-day life. I'm not a super ultra wealthy rich person, but I'm pretty comfortable. And do I want a ton of my money being taxed so I can get free healthcare? I'm healthy. I don't need healthcare. Plus, I believe in the principles of Scripture that talk about no plague shall come nigh my dwelling. And that if it does, I can be healed by the stripes of Jesus. So I think differently. And there's a lot of people out there who don't, and I get that, whatever. They need health care and all that. But as the church and as Christians, we need to think differently. We need to put biblical principles into place and think biblically. If we do that, not only will it make our lives better, but we'll be an example to other people that are searching. There's people out there that are not searching. They're set in stone with what they want. But there's also people out there that are searching for something different. And that's us. We're the something different. We're the salt and the light. And it's our job to live it, to attract other people to it. It's God's job to water the seed, but it's our job to live it. So that's what I have to say about all this massive spending and Bernie Sanders and all this weird stuff we're facing right now. I could talk more about some of these stimulus packages, but right now, let's just say that tons of massive spending is not good, and tons of pork spending is not good. Government needs to be frugal and try to not spend as much dollars as they can, because really it's yours and my dollars. It's yours and my hard-earned money going away. And the only way they're going to get that back is to tax the crap out of us. And that's going to crush us. No, we don't want that. So we need to hold our representatives accountable, hold the president accountable, and if we have to, annoy the crap out of our government officials and tell them stop and stand up, vote them out, get together with people, talk with people. If we want to keep this great republic, it's going to take work. And we're at the time where we may need to put in overtime. So thank you very much.